So, as daft as this is going to sound, because we can't register any contract to anyone right now because of the situation we are currently in, I got this situation where we need to start looking at players regardless, even if it's us speculating as players who could potentially come in and do quite well. And this is the thing where we got to be intrigued to see what we can do. We've been in this position before where we've had embargoes and we've managed to get players in without having to pay anything. But we've gone, look, if they go out their contract, we'll give you 50% if we sell them on. And it could be a case like that. Now, granted, right now we can't even register a contract. So I know all the comments are going to be like, oh, what are you talking about? Why are you talking about this? I don't see the point of you talking about this. Well, I'm doing it because eventually we're going to have to look at some players. And the thing is, when we start looking at players, it's going to have to be quick. It's going to have to be really quick. So let's look at 3 players I've got lined up for us then. So, first one is Cyrus Christie. He's a right back, 32. We know him. He's championship ready. He's championship ready for this league already. He's a right back, which we'll need. He can also play centre back. Best part about it is a free agent. So if and when we can get the situation about not registering players out the way, you could get him in and get him in on a lower contract kind of thing. I don't think he want too much in the works of wages, and it's experience. The one thing we don't have at the minute is experience, and that's what we lack. We lack any kind of experience in the back line, and that's something we're going to have to try and get in quickly. So if we get a bit more experience, that'll help. Now, these two, I'll be honest with you, it all depends on how you would structure a deal, because these two will be very much like a job buyer deal, where they mutually agree their contract with their current clubs, and then we do a 50% sell-on fee if you do well and go elsewhere. Now, the other thing is, if there is a takeover, big if, we can't do a transfer fee. We can't do a loan fee. So we would have to be working really smartly. Now, if we didn't have any transfer fee ban or loan fee ban, these are the players I'd be looking at. 24-year-old winger. He current market value 300k. He contracted buyers in 2026. So end of next year, I want to say, next season, his contract is up. So you got the situation where he could be a free agent. He could not be. But it's one of the ones to look at where you could potentially maybe look down the line as someone that maybe comes in, right? Again, you would have to play a buyer style deal. And it's the same with Juan Castillo. Left back, really good player, 500k. He got a year option. He has a 1-year option on his deal. So if they do it, then you're screwed. But 25 left back can play left midfield. These are positions we need. He knows English football as well because he was at Chelsea. I believe he went on loan to Charlton. Yep, Charlton, Birmingham. So he does know English football. So he's had that kind of period where he's been on loan. And it's this whole thing. 24, he was at a club, he joined them. And again, I have a funny feeling this will be another case of potentially, if he's still with them, which I believe he is, if he's a free agent, we then go into the rounds of, hey, he's a free agent, Cyrus Christie, if you want under this amount of wages, and wait until the, what's it called? The contract registration is up, then we're good. But then you got to wait until that's up and done and dusted. And that's not going to be for a while, I don't think. Unless something gets done really, really quickly. So, as of right now, there are 3 players I think potentially when they could go for, which are cheap, in one sense, in terms of if you can get something done in a weird way like people have done in the past with buyers. Again, any deal we do would have to be a buyer style thing where they mutually terminate the deal, but you do a deal with the club where you go, anything we sign, anything you get, we get 50% sell-on fee. So it's like not having a deal, but having a deal, if that makes sense. That's where I would look at things and be like, right, this is where we got to be smart with it. You've also got to remember with Nigel Thompson, he's in Denmark. So a league, obviously, Henrik knows quite well. So it's one of them. It's a league he knows well. He was at loan in Portugal, and he's been at Denmark since 2023. So it's interesting there. It's what they want to look out for. Granted, I will say this again. Do not go, oh, why are you looking at players? Because we can't register anyone and we've got a transfer fee and loan fee. Eventually, we will potentially have to bring in players one way or another. One way or another, there'll be a way of getting a player in. Like, once they get the funding, maybe they get the funding stuff sorted and we can register players again. There'll be players who will have to try and bring in, or we'll have to be really smart about how we bring them in. So we'll see.